Hey everyone, it is Trevor Bryan, author of The Art of Comprehension, and I wanted to talk to you about a book that I just got, Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwall, which is really a wonderful book to talk about using the art of comprehension. It's a good example of the idea that I share all the time, that stories are told through mood. It's also a good book to explore the mood structures with. And as all narratives are, it's a good book to use the axis lenses, which are the key tool to the art of comprehension. So I want to just kind of share with you the beginning of the story, and I want you to think about the mood a little bit. Even the cover, actually, before we get to the start, the cover is a good picture to talk about with kids, to discuss how they think Jabari is feeling, right? Standing on top of that what looks like a very high diving board. All right. And the story starts by Jabari announcing, "I'm jumping off the diving board today," Jabari told his dad. "Really?" said his dad. Right. And if we look at Jabari's facial expression, right, one of the axis lenses, we get a pretty good clue that he's feeling happy about it with that big smile. Right? The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, right? That's what the next page says. But Jabari announces, "I'm a great jumper," said Jabari. "So I'm not scared at all," right? And again, his body language and facial expression give us a clue about how he's feeling, right? That he's pretty excited about this. All right, so this story is a good example of a story starting off with a positive mood. And as most stories that start with a positive mood, or chapters or scenes, but certainly almost all picture books, we're expecting the mood to change. All right, so Jabari watches the kids climb the ladder. And then we have this little sentence, right, when he's seeing the other kids jump off. "Looks easy," Jabari said, but when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. And that's a great example of body language, and what we often sometimes, or what we sometimes don't think about, is how vital it is for kids to be able to make inferences, even in books that are really geared towards younger students. It doesn't really say how Jabari's feeling at that point, but that squeeze of the hand gives us a clue that there's some apprehension there. Maybe Jabari's feeling a little bit nervous, and so we go from excited to nervous through the squeeze of the hand. And one of the things that I think is important to understand is that when kids make inferences, a lot of times what they're inferring is the mood. And so looking at the facial expressions and looking at body language and picking up those clues is really necessary to help them to make the inferences that they need to make in order to understand the story. For kids to really comprehend the story, they have to understand that he was excited, and then that he started to feel nervous, right? And thinking about why he felt excited, and then why he felt nervous, why the mood changed, is really important. And so this is a great book to discuss mood with kids. It's a great book to discuss mood structure with kids. It's a great book to discuss making inferences with students. And then the other part of the art of comprehension that's really evident in this book is the idea of symbols, right? And Jabari's dad, who's always with him, right, and always encouraging him, and finally gives him the words of wisdom, right? Notice and note, right? One of the signposts is that, you know, his dad is there to support him and helps him to ultimately change his mood and bring it back to positive. But his dad's a good example of being a symbol of hope or a symbol of support for Jabari. All right, so it's a great book. If you haven't checked it out, you might want to. And it's also a really wonderful book to explore the art of comprehension with. All right, so I hope you get a chance to explore it. Reach out with any questions.